Hello my friends, Sam Miller here, and today we are going to be talking about Sam Sulek. Probably pronounced his name completely wrong, mostly because the amount of messages I get about this guy are absolutely crazy. Now, a lot of fitness influencers, if we shall use that term, have talked about all this, so I'm not really 100% sure what I can add to the conversation, other than, I suppose, maybe he's not living the healthiest lifestyle that he could have been. I mean, if we click some of these TikTok videos, and he's smashing on TikTok, he's got 1.1 million followers, he had 16 million likes, and he's only 21 years old. If I just click this random one here, is it gonna lose? Yes, smallest annual lifts list, I don't even know what that means. And it's just him working out, and it's him looking like an absolute tank. I mean, that is a guy, I mean, he's massive. Now, I'm not sure what his goal is at the moment. I mean, I presume he is aiming to do some kind of bodybuilding competition. Let me try and find one that's done like this. We've got 3.2 million views, so this has to be one of his more. Squats aren't optimal, they hurt my knees, I leg press instead. And then he's going in to do squats. Thanks for leaving the rack open. And then we've got him doing a leg day, which is kind of strange. And once again, his legs are massive. So that kind of felt like him taking the mick at people that don't do squats. Almost cut the workout short. Mum picked me up early. It's just him walking around, smashing it again. He likes to come into this room. I mean, if you look like that, you probably would try and show off your physique as much as you possibly could. Again, going back to the squat thing, I don't think you need to, if you don't want to do squats, don't do squats. It's as simple as that. I mean, there'll be some negatives to it because of course there will be, but ultimately, you want to be enjoying your fitness. Only fools hate on Planet Fitness, and there he is just training in Planet Fitness. So look, he's hitting a lot of the, I don't want to say the stereotypes, but he's doing a lot of the stuff that people enjoy watching on the internet. Like anywhere that I go, I see people getting mad at Planet Fitness. No lifter below 200 should hate on P-Fit, that's Planet Fitness again. Right, so he really likes Planet Fitness. It is still a gymnasium, they just got the lunk alarm, right? I think it's the lunk alarm that annoys people. Let me click on a random one here and get some of the comments in. I wouldn't wish a midlift canvas notification of my worst enemy. I hate canvas. Sam, we need a full day of eating. I bench 135 today. Are you single? I bench 255 at 134. What's this one that's just loaded up? He's talking. Hang on a minute. Right, he's talking about getting a great back pump. I mean, good for you. Now, I don't know what his take on if he's on anything or not in terms of has he admitted it. I don't see anywhere here that says that he's natty. And I don't believe anybody in their right mind would believe that he was natural. Which, I mean, I guess that comes back to my main point with all of this, is that at 21 years old, and what do I know, right? Absolutely nothing. There are far more people out there who have a much more educated say on this than I could ever do, because they're more experienced with it. At 21 years of age, you haven't even fully developed, you haven't even fully grown. You don't know what your natural peak limit is. So to jump on any kind of, PEDs is ultimately not going to be great for you in the long term. Now, the best way, I think it's Derek More Plates, More Dates who pushes this a lot, is you always want to do the lowest amount of a substance possible where you still see some sort of gains or some sort of progress, because that way you're trying to bring your health into it as well. Now, this guy clearly has amazing genetics. He just does. We could all take whatever he is taking and eat the same and train the same, and we're not going to look like him. But again, at 21 years of age, I just think it's a really bad idea, but that's just one person's perspective. You're going to have a different perspective, and obviously Sam is going to have a totally different perspective, and I do understand it. If he looks however he looked before he started doing whatever he may or may not have done, and all of a sudden you do go on something, apparently, hypothetically, we don't know, and you turn into this monster, and you're able to build a social media following off of it, which I presume is making him a lot of money, I totally understand why you'd want to follow that dangling carrot. I mean, you get the dopamine and the serotonin from people reacting to you and go, man, you look amazing, you're getting the financial stuff. I'm sure he's built an entire career off of it, and if you are doing this, it's going to allow you to eat more, it's going to allow you to train more, because you're going to free up a lot of your time. That's just one of the blessings of being a social media guy or a YouTuber, etc., etc. There's a lot of work there, but you'd probably be doing it from home. You haven't got to, you can tie it into one pot, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to worry about sort of anything else coming out of the woodwork. But I mean, this is just the way, and this isn't necessarily related to Sam Sulek. In fact, it's not. I mean, it's not. This is a much more wide-ranging general conversation about all of it, is that the way of the world has kind of gone from people being very silent about what they may or may not have been taking, to TikTok especially being a platform where people would just tell you, I do this, I do that. I mean, there's a meme about trend these days, and how everybody should be smashing trend. Do I think you should ever do trend? No, I do not. I just don't think it's worth it. It's not worth your health. As I said 1,000 times, do you want to look big in a box? Which, in case you don't know, some people this goes over their head, which is totally cool. I'm saying you may have the greatest physique ever, but if you're lying in a coffin because you are deceased, I think you'd rather be some kind of shrimp man, whatever that means. So SARMs especially are a problem in that sense, because they're far much easier to get than your traditional steroids, for lack of a better term. And everyone is just taking them. And so many people I've had a chat to, they think they're legal just because you can buy them online so effortlessly. They are not. And they're also not healthy for you at all. I just don't think, again, you need to decide what you want to do. And if you are going to go down this path, make sure you've done the research and make sure you've educated yourself. Do not go into it blind, because that is when you're going to hit a wall very quickly and you're going to run into serious problems. And don't pretend it can't happen to you, because it absolutely can. But I just don't think you should be doing anything until, well, ever, to be honest, would be my personal opinion. But if you are tempted by it, I think you've got to wait until, you've developed naturally. And 21 years old is no age to be doing this stuff. And also, you don't know how your body is going to react to it. Like, there are some people that can handle this stuff, and there are other people that will start doing it, for a week or 2 weeks, and it will totally screw them up that quickly. And because they've read anecdotes, been on the internet or Reddit or whatever it may be, of people saying, oh no, it can't possibly be that, it can't possibly be that, because scientifically, it's not, it doesn't sound realistic. That doesn't mean that you're not going to respond that way, because bodies are super duper weird, right? I mean, look at recreational drugs. Some people are smashing them every single weekend, and sometimes people take them and they're down for the count after just ingesting it once. That is what can happen. So, I don't know. I don't say I struggle with it, because that's a little bit much. I don't want to be, too hyperbolic here. I don't know this guy. I've never talked to this guy. I've done a little bit of research on him and just looked at his videos. There's not really that much to take away. It sounds like his growth has been super, super quick. Although he does a video like this, number one tip for beginners, I've already seen what this becomes. Start ego lifting. I mean, absolutely do not start ego lifting, although he's saying stuff in this video. Let me just go around it again. What are you saying, Sam? In what world?
You want to not
do you want to
go as crazy as possible?
Go crazy? Well, no, but that's different. That's not the same thing. So he's saying that ego lifting is just going crazy on every single set. That's not what ego lifting is. At least that's not what I determine ego lifting to be. Ego lifting to me, and the reason you don't want to do it, is because it's when you try and lift too much for yourself. That's not going crazy in the gym. You can go to the gym and take a couple of 20 and go absolutely crazy and intense with that and get a good workout. But if you then bump that up to 200, it's way too much weight for you and you're putting yourself at risk of injury. That's ego lifting. And usually 95% of the time too, anyone that ego lifting has terrible form, like absolutely terrible form. There's also putting themselves in a horrible position where they're probably going to get injured. And don't forget, it doesn't matter what you're taking or what you're on, if you get injured, you're not going to be able to go to the gym. Which is why if you are training and you feel something go, or you just think, I'm not feeling 100% here, just go home. Like, no one ever tells you this, just go home. You can go back tomorrow, go home, rest, ice the area in question. If you wake up tomorrow and think, oh, it's calmed down, it was just a little bit of a nick, then you're good to go again, as opposed to plowing through it anyway and being, oh great, now I'm injured and I've got to sit out for 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe even more. It could be half a year, right, if you get serious injury. So, I don't know, man. No amount of hard work can beat a goofy lifter. What does that mean? What's a goofy lifter? He just loves taking his top off. But again, I get it. I'd probably be the same. I don't even know why that's a goofy lifter. That's just him lifting. Eat optimal lifter for optimal games. What cycle will give me optimal goofiness? A man who trained hard will never beat the man who enjoys doing it. There you go. That's the thing. Well, that's a good message to send out there. I agree with that. But that ties back into my squat comment. If you don't want to do squats, absolutely don't go squats. Point of view, you asked me to explain the benefits of ego lifting. He's just staring at his arms. I don't know what he's saying, because for some reason we haven't put that on this TikTok video. What's your rep rate for shoulders? 15, usually higher reps. Well, I agree with that too. I don't know what the hell he's talking about here. I think it's just him talking about a video that he is going to lift up. But look, again, it's smart. It's smart social media content. I see what he's doing here, but I don't think it looks particularly healthy. And again, who am I to pass comment? That's just my opinion, and you should throw it out of the window most probably. But the thing to me is, the most important thing when you get into fitness is the other word, health and fitness, right? You want to be healthy, because age will catch up to you, and you may be perfectly fine. You never know. Again, some people smoke for 70, 80 years and don't have any issues, and some people never smoke and they get throat cancer. So there's a flip of a coin there as well. But you want to put yourself in the best position. I don't think anybody gets into this to have any kind of issues down the line. So this is just my PSA as always. I know, boring Daddy Miller. Shouldn't call myself Daddy Miller. Just try and protect yourself as much as possible. Remember, you're only in competition with yourself. You don't have to look like Sam Sulek or anybody else. And ultimately, in the real world, and not the crazy fitness world that we all live in, even if you put on a little bit of body mass and you have a low body fat, people will look at you and think you're massive. Go look at a website like the Daily Mail, where you see people or celebrities walking around and they're just in decent shape, and that's not to take anything away from them. They're not mass monsters or anything. People are like, whoa, this guy is huge. And to us, they're not huge. But again, it's all about perspective. It's all about your own perception. I do feel like we get carried away with this stuff. And now everybody's going to think they have to look like Sam Sulek, but you don't, and you're probably never going to be. So again, there's one here as well about taking 5,000 calories. Most people aren't going to need 5,000 calories. Don't buy into that rhetoric either. You don't need to eat like a crazy person to get big. You just need to be in a calorie surplus. That could be 500 calories. Do you know what I mean? Every single day or week, whatever it may be. And you may benefit from that. You just don't know until you try it. So that's all I've really got to say about it. I'm mostly doing this video because of Instagram messages. The amount of people that said, Tyler, what do you think? What do you think? I just think there's lots of these people out there. there. It's only going to multiply, especially because, like I say, TikTok absolutely loves them and it's pushed its content hard. But I just don't want to see anyone getting any kind of health problems. I want everyone to be as happy as they could possibly be while also being in great shape. And these two things are quite hard to quantify. So there you go. Please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding ding, notification crew. There'll be a video on the screen somewhere. Give that a click. Something that helps me in my lifting is gorillamined.com/Simon. And you can just go to Simon to get 10% off. Again, do you need supplements? No, you don't, but will they help you? I believe so, in sort of like the lower percentage range. But I would never pimp out anything I didn't use and didn't enjoy, and I like most of their supplements. I think they're really good. Patreon.com/Simon316. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, obviously at Simon316, and TikTok. I never mentioned that. Got a podcast. If you're into wrestling, just search for my name and Wrestling Show. I'm on Cameo. Again, just search for my name. I can do you personalized video messages. And we have merchandise at Pro Wrestling Tees and Samson Athletics, and I shall draw a line under it there. But most importantly, remember, you don't know what life has in store for you, so make sure you're protecting yourself as best as you can. Take care. See you soon.